This is the Inmotion 11. This is my cameraman Jamie, and this new unit is something he just picked up a couple of days ago. And I thought what I'd do is we're gonna go for a ride around Victoria, but before we do that, let me just ask you, how do you like it?
Honestly, after about 60 kilometers on it, I think this thing is sweet. Totally new stride in the kind of PEV realm with an EUC here, and I'm excited to ride around today and test it out even further.
How hard was it to actually get started with it?
I think it was a bit of a quick learner, so within about an hour and a half, I could ride kind of slowly in a straight line by myself. First little bit, I just had to hold onto someone's shoulder, and then after about 3-4 hours, I could ride pretty comfortably on most types of terrain and kind of rip it around, go at decent speeds, and carve pretty well. So
perfect. Well, yeah. Let's just get started. We'll go for a rip around Victoria, and we'll stop, and I'll probably ask you a bunch more questions.
Sweet, let's do it.
All right, Jamie, so we were just riding around, noticing you hitting all these bumps. What's it like on the bumps?
The suspension is pretty sweet. I think there's around 70 millimeters of travel, and if I step on it here, you can really see it. And it's air suspension, so 2 valves on the bottom and 2 valves at the top that you can adjust and make it faster or slower, depending on if you're doing off-road and you want it slower to really absorb it, or you're doing some high-speed cruising and you want it faster so that you can keep the most stability. But yeah, the suspension is definitely a must. It's pretty sweet on this thing.
So one more thing before we take off again. You're wearing, it looks like, knee pads, shin pads. Anything else? You got the big helmet.
Yeah, typically I got full face helmet.
What about the hands? Anything special?
Knee pads, yeah, I got wrist guards, and then I have gloves on top. Just for kind of warmth, and then typically I'm not wearing them right now, but I have elbow pads that just slide underneath my jacket here. So I think it's definitely smart when you're riding things like this to wear a lot of protection in case you do go down for a fall. Your wrists will be protected, your elbow if you take a fall on the side, and your knees especially, because if you fall forward, you're gonna smack right down on them. So yeah,
let's keep going. Alrighty, what's on here? This is the Inmotion app.
Yeah, so up top you're going to have your current speed, your riding from the last time you turned it on, your total mileage, and then up top there it's going to show your battery percent and how much remaining mileage at the average speed you're going. There's a whole settings queue where you can change your speed limit, your different ride modes, pedal hardness. You can turn it up to go to even higher top speed, different balance angles, if you want to do your exact speed and braking, how loud you want the thing when it beeps at you.
And how easy was it to learn?
Whatever you turn on, you just open your phone, it automatically connects within a few seconds, and everything's pretty detailed and shows you exactly what you need to know, so it's no problem.
Cheers. All right, Jamie, so you've been bouncing around over this little park here. We're going to take it through Beacon Hill Park next and do some trail riding on it. But just share with us now, what's it like going through the grass, going over the bumps, going up and down steep hills?
So I think typically with an EUC with no suspension, you really have to brace your knees a lot more. But with this one, with the suspension, it just compresses every time you go over a little bump. And I feel like you have a lot more control if you combine it with bracing your knees so that you can really support yourself. I even went off a little curve. We'll show a clip of that. And if you just bend your knees and let the suspension also take care of the rest, it's so smooth and you just feel like you're on pavement.
All right, Jamie, let's go. Let's go along a little trail here, a little wooden trail.
Let's do a couple donuts. Show how tight the turns can be. Still not scraping the pedals.
Jamie, thank you very much for flying around Victoria on your new V11 Inmotion. So what are your overall thoughts? How much do you love this thing?
Initially, just first thoughts, this thing is a beast. I love it. Very happy with the 18-inch wheel, and paired with the suspension, it's so comfy on the bumps. Has enough top speed and range to pretty much get me everywhere. Top speed of 55 an hour, which is probably more than I'll ever go, and range of minimum 60 kilometers. Depending on how fast you can go, you could probably get up to 80 or 90. For first wheel, I think this thing is definitely a must. It has good battery safety. Charging times are pretty fast. It has an amazing front headlight. This thing is a beast. I love it.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.